Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AHMAD bin AZMAN. My metric number is 1171090. So today I will talk about the background of the problem. So the title is the usage of Facebook as a tool in sharing the important news. Social networking is a community of internet-based application that built on the ideological and technical foundation of Web 2.0 and allow user-generated content to produce and share. News sharing is defined as the contribution and dissemination by individuals of news stories and different social media platforms.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad IRFAN bin Mohamed. My metric number 1171105. Inshallah, today I will talk about problem statement. Okay, a successful technology transfer will eventually lead to a deeper and wider accumulation of knowledge. Shirawatana 1991. Okay, nowadays we can see many manufacturer or programming companies, they compete each other to produce or to publish, to release new devices or new products in a year or sometime in a month. Okay, so that's why we can see many new applications such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also TikTok are many users today. And actually it equivalent with the current time. However, increasing the number of new applications, fake news will spread more easily. Okay, according to Marcus 1993, misinformation in the media is not new thing. It has been with us since the development of the earliest writing system. Actually, misinformation in the media, or we can say as a fake news, actually it does not happen in not just in our time. Actually, it also happened in the past time. Okay. In short, research must be done to identify the usage of Facebook as a tool in sharing important news and also to identify the causes of fake news and the best solution to solve it.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. My name is AQWA bin WIRA. My metric number is 1171085. First of all, I want to talk about the research question. The first question is, can the news on Facebook facilitate the delivery of information to the public? Second question is, does the news on the Facebook can help the community to be more open? And the last question is, can the news on the Facebook increase public awareness of emerging issues? We move to the objective of the study. The first objective is to facilitate the delivery of information to the community. The second objective is to help the community to be more open. And the last objective is to increase public awareness of emerging issues. Next, the significance of the study. Firstly, provide information on the use of Facebook as a tool to share important information. Secondly, provide information on the fake news that is widely spread in online media, and also help those students or community to be more open, and also help various interrelated parties in the world of online media. Lastly, scope of the study. There is some limitation in this study. Firstly, study sample. The population of this study consists of students year 4 Faculty of Major Language Studies, in Islamic Science University of Malaysia. Secondly, place limit. Islamic Science University of Malaysia located in Nilai, Negeri Sembilan. And the last limitation is election of respondent. The number of respondent among students is a total of 50 students, consisting of Year 4 students of the Faculty of Major Language Study, Islamic Science University of Malaysia. That's all from me. Thank you.
Focusing on the latter, it cannot be ignored that social media recently have become a constitutive part of online news distribution and consumption. C.F. Mitchell and page 2014. Additionally, due to their convenient and easy to use tools for posting content, social media also simplify and facilitate news sharing both for media organizations and individuals. For the average social media user, this can be done, for example, using the share button provided on news sites or by reposting or retweeting links to news found on a Facebook fan page of a friend Twitter feed. Online news sites increasingly rely on these referrals from social media to improve their website traffic, article views, and ultimately their economic success. Therefore, it is quite expectable that all US newspapers with a weekday circulation of more than 100,000 are using social media as an additional means to distribute their content online. Ju Tiong and Chi 2014. Like social media in general, news sharing in social media is an activity that is recognized by scholars from a wide variety of disciplines. While study from the information or computer science are mostly focused on how the process of news sharing can be used to model or predict popularity, adoption rates, or information cascades. Social scientists focus, for example, on the individual effects of sharing news, means psychology, its implications for political participation, means political science, or motive of engaging in news sharings, means communication study. Besides that, economic scholars are discussing how news sharing is related to e-commerce or monetization opportunities for online news media. Of course, the boundaries between the different fields of study are fluid, which often leads to an overlapping of discipline when studying news sharing phenomena.
Alright, now I will continue with the conceptualization. This is the diagram of the conceptualization. First is internal factor, and there are some of external factor. After that, information is they're going to information seeking behavior. After that, information dissemination strategies. After that, the last flow is self satisfaction or actualization. Right. Now we go to the theoretical perspective. Alright. First theory that can be used for this topic is news sharing and the uses of gratification approach, or the short form is UGA. And this theory focus on the motivation of news sharing. Individuals receive various gratifications through the process of news sharing. According to UGA, people gratify specific needs using and sharing news on social media. Next is the theory, the spiral of silence theory. People differ in the patterns of expressing their opinion based based on the perceived opinion climate. One reason why people avoid social platforms to express their opinions is avoid social sanctions. If they feel like their opinion is prevailing, they will be more willing to speak their minds. Individuals who are not sensitive to rejection are more active in talk about their opinion, and more sensitive ones prefer to communicate their opinions, especially the political ones, through more private ways. When they feel uh, when they feel they are part of the minority, they will remain silent or fear they may be isolated. Next is agenda setting model. Now, there are no certain findings which suggest that fake news can set the agenda of other news media. One of the main attributes of agenda setting effect of fake news in the fight against them. Major media such as political blogs and online partisan news websites have more power in setting public agenda than other media outlets. In news sharing, the agenda setting model is not limited audience and the news spread. The interaction between different media outlets can also be observed in their news agenda, known as intermediate agenda setting. This is the model of the theory. Next is theory of reason action. Uh, this theory and UGA models are very much alike as they try to explain behavior in terms of behavioral intention. Theory of reason action models emphasize the influence of motive and attitudes on intention and intention on behavior. Community visibility of public open social media such as Facebook continues and allows anonymous users from other social networks to access content. This is why sharing news on Facebook can perceive as related to certain risks and linked to decision and can be associated with risk. And this is the model of the theory. That's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillah. Today I will explain to you about research design and framework in our research. Okay, alright. So we go to the research design and framework. We are using descriptive research design. Then in this descriptive research, it is defined as a research method that describes the characteristics of the population or phenomenon studied. And it is also defined as a type of qualitative research. Though qualitative research can also be used for descriptive purposes. Descriptive analysis is used in data collection analysis to summarize the variable and find the mean and standard deviation based on the data collection. We use surveys and questionnaire consist of 15 questions to identify the usage of Facebook as a tool in sharing important news. These are the theoretical framework. We are using news sharing and the theory of reason action. Here we can see the theoretical framework used for this research is based on explaining news sharing behavior or theory of reason action, or we call in a short form TRA. Community visibility of publicity open social media such as Facebook continuously allows anonymous users from other social networks to access content. Imagine audience. This is search in Lead Hargit I 2016, Marwick Boyd 2014, and Ham et al. 2018. Here we can see the the graph or the picture of how do behavior affects people. Then in this research, we are using factor of social media usage and human behavior on conceptual framework, where the field of information seeking behavior in information science can broadly be defined as what which is concerned with determining users' information needs, searching behavior, and subsequent use of information. And it also portrays that information seeking behavior is affected by external and internal factors by the usage of social media such as Facebook. Here we can see what is the internal factor and what is the external factor that affected the information seeking behavior. Alright, so we move on to the research methodology. In research methodology, we are using quantitative method was employed for both data collection and data analysis process of the study. The data collection instrument used to collect data from the respondents was the questionnaire. The questionnaire consisted of 8 multiple choice questions and 7 questions that were measured on a 5-point Likert scale to identify the usage of Facebook as a tool in sharing important news, to identify the causes of fake news, and to identify and to find the best solution to solve these issues. It were analyzed through a descriptive analysis process by finding the mean and standard deviation for every construct. The data was then analyzed using statistical software SPSS version 20. Next, we go to data analysis technique. How do we do our data analysis? The data analysis was done using statistical package for the social science, or we call as SPSS version 20 software. It were analyzed through a descriptive analysis process by finding the mean and standard deviation for every construct. A survey instrument was developed to understand people's perception of their positions within the online community, the relationships with their connections, the news quality spread in social media, as well as their usage of social media to share news. The survey was administered to undergraduate students at a major local university, or in our university, University Science Islam Malaysia, USIM. Before analysis, the gathered data was prepared. Then the data set was checked for missing data and outliers.
Okay, now we continue with the pretest data collection. Okay, for this research, we create a questionnaire. We spread the questionnaire. We make questionnaire with a Google form, and in the questionnaire or in the Google form, it has 15 questions, 8 questions for the multiple choice question, and 7 questions that is in Likert scale. Okay, Alhamdulillah, we get 15 respondents for the pretest, which is male more than female, which is 11 males and 4 females. And for the age of the respondent, it is between 22 to 25 years old. Okay, okay, let's still continue with the reliability and validity. Okay, we test the result of the questionnaire. We test using the statistical package for the social sciences. In the short form, we call SPSS. Okay, and the Chrome batch alpha, it is 0.726. Okay, and the general rule of thumb is that a Chrome batch alpha of 0.70 and above is good, 0.80 and above is better, and 0.90 and above is best. So in our research or in our study, it is 0.7 to 6, and it means it is acceptable for the reliability and validity of the result.
In sum, the aim of this study was to explore the phenomenon of Facebook addiction and identify factors for excessive Facebook usage. We were able to confirm the assumption that further aspects are related to Facebook addiction and should be integrated into addiction scale, and we also demonstrate some participants are in danger of becoming addict to Facebook. Thus, the study of Han and Jerusalem 2010 may be a good starting point to use in detecting vulnerable users who are likely to develop an internet addiction, but their skill is insufficient for determining whether a person is addicted to either Facebook or the internet itself. Further factors such as usage motivations also must be considered. Discovering more of these indicators should comprise the work of future studies.